You imagine if you got a kid that's a real brat in life, right? And you got to keep an eye on this kid like nobody's business, or else some crazy stuff can happen. I'm going to tell you a story. It's kind of funny, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit of the backstory about me. Let's get into it this morning. And a very good morning to all of you. Friday the 13th, and yeah, I was that bad kid. I read a story recently about a kid. He's over in Tel Aviv. He's with his family. They're touring a museum, right, of antiquities and anthropological wonders over in Israel, right? And I can identify with the kid, right? Your parents are like really intellectuals, right? Ooh, your dad's like looking at this sword, or this Etruscan vase, or this fancy gold belt, and I don't know, contemplating things like that. And what the hell? You're a kid, right? You're walking around like this ain't cool. It ain't spiders and snakes and weird crawly things and Tonka toys and G.I. Joe and battles and ants versus ants. You're in a museum, right? It's like the worst thing on planet Earth. It's like it's the equivalent of prison when you're a kid, right? It's like being put into general pop when you're one of those kind of guys. It's a really, it's like the worst thing that can happen. The parents are walking through, and the next thing they know, they hear a crashing sound, and they know in their mind, oh crap, young Roosevelt did something in the museum here. And they turn around and they look behind, and sure enough, this priceless antiquity, 5,000-year-old big vase. It was probably a chamber pot back in the time or something like that. But ooh, and all, and then look, the thing is in like 50 pieces on the ground there. And if I'm I tried to crawl into it. The kid's looking, it's my parents' fault because they didn't keep an eye on me, and they shouldn't have brought me to this museum. Well, it made me think back to my own childhood, and way back a million years ago in 1964, when I was a mere tyke and was taken from Baltimore to the World's Fair in New York City at Flushing Meadow. The one with the Unisphere, and the little fountains that would shoot up. Man, I didn't care about going into the IBM Pavilion or the General Motors or Futurama, the world of the future. So as soon as it was practical, when the whole big crew, I think there was probably 8 or 9 of us, went in, right, the family, we go inside. And as soon as possible, I'm off like a rock. I'm out of here, right? I'm splitting from this group because this is boring to me, and I'm out doing I'm going to run my own program. Yeah, I was that kind of kid that would just independently take off and then worry about where the hell am I, right? I'm lost, and find us and help me, I'm lost. That's further down the line, right? In the meantime, there's a lot of exploring to do. And I was told later when they finally announced, through the park, lost kid, blah, 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 blah. And, they bring him to a certain place, and my parents show up, and they're like, oh, wow, right? And the guard's like, is this your kid? Yeah, it's young Roosevelt, whatever. Well, the kid was over in the German beer garden Bohemian Village over there, and he was spotted, actually. We thought he was part of a family over here because he was sitting there at the table with a small pour of beer in front of him. Now, we can't say whether he was drinking or not. I remember my father like, oh yeah, he was drinking. If he had that glass in front, I don't know what I did. I glommed onto this family that was just sitting there. Maybe because families were large then, they didn't really notice. Hey, who's this kid at the table? Roosevelt really grew up, right? Didn't even recognize him anymore. But I could identify with that kid being bored out of my skull. Anyway, I will leave a link in the description box down below. At the end of it, and if you're not subscribed, it's a good time to hit that subscribe button, that bell for all notifications. We do so much fun on the channel, and I want you to be a part of it. But wow, what a total trip and a total goofy time that was. Yeah, there was always hell to pay later. And I remember my father. We went through the Small World. It was unveiled at the 1964 World's Fair. You know, Disney's It's a Small World, and I'm going through in a little boat, and wow, this is really cool, right? And it's all these moving. I didn't know these kids are real or what the hell. I don't know. And I remember I come out later, and my old man's like, you ever do the Roosevelt? I'll kill you, man. You ever do that stuff again? You ever take off and start running your own program? You see those kids in It's a Small World wearing those little Dutch shoes and wooden shoes and Japanese kimonos and samurai swords stuff on the Great Wall. And I said, yeah, it's pretty cool, Dad. And he's like, well, those are kids that got separated from their parents at the park. And, they can't afford to feed them, so they actually have to work for a living. It's a world of laughter, a world of fun. I thought to myself, this may not be half bad. Anyway, guys, have a good rest of your day. Be safe on Friday the 13th, and thanks so much for watching. Your thumbs up are